Hi everyone, it's Sue from Business Sherpa Group. We thought we'd take you through how agile planning in response to a pandemic can really help strengthen your business and prepare you for whatever happens in the future. So what is agile planning? It really is creating a set of flexible solutions that will allow you to operate regardless of the status of the pandemic. Super important because planning for a variety of circumstances will ready your business for whatever happens, whatever regulations, whatever public health guidance, you will be able to operate your business safely and protect both your employees and your clients or customers. This in turn will build resilience and trust. Let's face it, these restrictions are a reality. We're not returning to pre-March 2020 anytime soon. On the other hand, this current situation is also new for everyone. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of apprehension. So communication becomes even more important. You want to ensure that there's a two-way dialogue from, your management team, your employees, and your customers. We all want to progress forward and have fewer restrictions, but unfortunately, a lot of the experts are actually suggesting that we're going to oscillate between a little bit less restrictions, going back up to a lockdown. So let's prepare for that. There are the three basic levels. Lockdown's essentially what Canada's been experiencing from March to May. Some restrictions in place is what a lot of provinces are moving towards for June. And then relaxed restrictions would be as close as we can imagine to a pre-COVID normal. What's really important with each of these levels is the considerations that are outside of your particular business's control. You may or may not be able to have employees on site. Employees may or may not have access to childcare. Schools may or may not be open. That is going to add to stress, it is going to decrease productivity, and it is going to add to the burdens to your employees. And all of this is outside of their control. So how can you be ready to adapt? Know how your business can adapt to each level, and so you can enact those changes quickly. If, as we saw in March, things ramp up quickly to a lockdown situation, you'll just be able to say, okay, here's the plan we're going to, and everyone's ready to go. So, when you're in a lockdown, such as what we're experiencing March to May, it really does help to keep perspective. The purpose of a lockdown is to save lives. That is what truly is important. So, in light of that, how can you adapt your business practices to be as effective as possible without putting anybody's life at risk? There's lots of ways. How can you make your business flourish virtually? What else can you streamline? What else can you use technology for? How can you connect with customers, employees using technology? Maybe this pandemic is going to be a catalyst for positive change. What is the core function of your business? What do you need to do versus where do you want people to be? What can people do from their homes to support the object that you want to achieve? Take advantage of any government programs available to help reduce costs, keep people employed, borrow money, whatever you need to do to support your operations. Some key considerations in this phase, when we're looking at a softening of when we start to reopen, what are some work schedules that people will feel comfortable with? What are the protocols you're going to need about physical distancing, about cleaning, about entering and exit the office? What about symptom management? If an employee has any symptoms, what's the protocol? What do they do? What are some of the ways that you can start dialogues about the expectations and concerns with your employees, with your customers, with your landlords? How are you going to accommodate the employees who are really in a difficult situation? What are you going to have in terms of an accommodation policy, not just that meets your legal requirements, but really makes employees and customers feel safe? So we have a few suggestions. Regarding work schedules, also ask your employees for ideas before you just dictate the way forward. Talk to people. What would they like to see? What do they think is reasonable? You'll get a lot more buy-in and a lot more engagement. Virtualization. What else can you do to be virtual? Take away that need to be physically present. What protocols can you put in place? And moreover, what can you use that's already been created? Maybe some of the public health documentation. See what you can change to impact your organization. Look at your communications. How often are you communicating with your employees? Guaranteed you need to increase it, both in terms of frequency and invitations to open a dialogue. These communications should not be one way. And again, accommodating employees is going to be critical. You're going to need to show compassion. This is out of their control as well. So what can you do to support them, but still have them be productive and effective members of your team? When restrictions finally do relax, a few key considerations to whatever the post-pandemic normal looks like. What schedules and protocols are still going to be needed? What can be altered? What are going to be your real estate needs? Does your business still need the same footprint it needed in January 2020? What about office configuration? Do you need more space? Are you going to need partitions? Is there additional infrastructure? What equipment do you actually need in your office? All of those are important considerations that you can start planning for now, even though this may be months away. Who actually needs to be on site? And we're not saying that people can't be on site, but have it ready that, okay, if we can only have a certain number of people on site at any given time, it's these folks. Everyone else, we can virtualize, we can rotate, we can do whatever needs to be. And more important, what are your lessons learned? If this is going to be a months-long endeavor, as many people have suggested, then let's learn. What did you learn in March? What did you learn in April? What did you learn in May? How can you take those learnings and make sure that your response is more effective, more strategic as we go forward? Leadership is going to be key in 2020. Difficult times really do make for great leaders. This is a wonderful time to stand up and accept the challenge of leadership. There's an old saying that management gets the employees they deserve. Very true. And if you don't trust your employees to work from home because you don't believe that they're working while they're at home, it normally is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Focus on their deliverables. Focus on their objectives. Are they achieving what you need them to achieve? Then great. It shouldn't be linked to the time of day. It really should be linked to a time frame. Are they delivering the amount of work that you would like to see during the week or during the month? You're going to need to revise your strategic plan. I'm willing to bet that when you devised your strategic plan, it was before all of this happened. It's changed your environment. You have new information. So your current plan therefore becomes outdated and it needs to be updated. Take a moment to reprioritize. What actually matters to your business and what's just a distraction? The answer to that question is probably different in mid-2020 than it was in the first quarter. And a few things about just general administration during a pandemic. Vacation. Employees still need to take time off. Being at home is not a vacation. I fully believe that organizations should still require employees to take the vacation, take the mental health break, and to limit the carryover of vacation, particularly in these uncertain times where you're really concerned about your finances. Carryover of vacation days is an unfunded liability, and it's not one I'd recommend expanding at the moment. Sign-up sheets could be a simple, effective way to manage office space needs. If you don't want to dictate a schedule, if you're a smaller office, then have a sign-up sheet to say, you know what, we're not going to let more than 3, 5, 10, whatever number employees in the office at one day. Here's a sheet, who needs to be in, who'd like to be in, and have employees engage in that process to determine that. But really, compassion is the key for your employees and for your customers. This is a great time for your business to focus on building relationships and building trust. I hope this presentation has been helpful and look forward to talking.